Hi everyone. This video is going to be looking at signal words and phrases, also known as transitions. And we're going to be looking at them in the context of a compare and contrast essay, but a lot of what I say about signal words and phrases also applies to other kinds of essays as well. Okay, so the idea behind signal words and phrases is that things will be a lot clearer for your reader if you use these kinds of words and phrases to let your reader know, oh, here's what we're talking about right now, and here's the connection between what I just said and what I'm about to say. Here's how they're related to each other. It'll be easiest to understand this if we look at some examples. Now, for instance, right here, the very first part of the introduction to this compare and contrast essay is a signal phrase, my first week in Boston. This lets the reader know where we are, we're in Boston, and also something about when. It's the author's first week in this city, okay? And that way, when we get to I was walking down the sidewalk, we have an idea of where this sidewalk was and that this is a new experience for the writer. Okay? So that's a quick example. In the topic sentence of the first body paragraph, we can see another signal word here, the first. The first and most obvious difference between South Florida and Boston involved clothing. So this word first is a signal word that lets the reader know I'm giving you a new kind of information here. I'm going to talk about a difference between South Florida and Boston, and this is the first one. So I'm going to talk about more later. So you know that here's a little bit now, and then there will be more later. And I do a similar thing in the topic sentence of the last body paragraph. This may be related to the final cultural difference. The final. So here's the last one in that list of differences between culture in the two places. Okay? You will often find signal words and phrases at the beginnings of paragraphs, especially the beginnings of body paragraphs, because with a new paragraph, you're transitioning to something new, a new topic or a new point. And so you want to help orient your reader immediately so they know where they are. We can see it also here. In Florida, beachwear is acceptable in almost any situation except the office. So this first topic sentence said that we were going to talk about a difference between South Florida and Boston, but we're going to then focus on one of those two places to begin with. So this little signal phrase, in Florida, lets the reader know which one we're talking about first. And then talks about Florida for a while, for a couple of sentences, it gives examples, etc. And then we have a new signal word. However, is a word that signals contrast. It says, I was talking about one kind of thing before this, right? I was talking about the way people in Florida act, but now I'm going to switch directions and talk about something different. There's some sort of contrast. However, but, although, on the other hand, all of these signal words and phrases signal contrast in those cases. There's some kind of difference between what was before and what comes next. Right after, however, we have another signal phrase, in Boston. Okay, so now we know we're not looking at Florida even more. We're looking at a different place. We're looking at Boston. Okay? And then down here you can see another little signal word, but. Again, this signals a contrast, but this was only the most obvious difference. Okay, let's see what else we can find. All right, so here's another place where we were switching in the middle of the paragraph from talking about Florida to talking about Boston. In Boston, So we're looking at a new place. On the other hand, right, here's another signal phrase saying, oh, this is a contrast. This is something different. On the one hand, on the other hand. It's different. It's on another hand. And then down here, furthermore. Now, furthermore is a different kind of signal word. It signals that we're giving a new point that is similar to the points before. This is signaling addition. Here's an additional point. Furthermore, additionally, also, okay? Moreover, all of those are signal words that show, okay, I'm going to give something new now, but it's similar to what I was just giving. It's a new addition to the list. Furthermore, ice skating and ice hockey are both much more popular in Massachusetts. And then here, finally, this is saying, okay, here's the last example I'm going to give of popular outdoor activities in Massachusetts. Finally, here's my last point. I'm letting you know, okay, we're finishing up this topic, and we're going to move to something else soon. So anyway, all of these examples show you how you should be using signal words and phrases to keep your reader oriented, okay? To make sure that they understand, oh, okay, we're switching direction now, or here comes another point. It's not the same as the point before, but it's similar, okay? Or we're looking at this place now. We're looking at Florida. Okay, now we're looking at Boston. You can also use this in your own compare and contrast essay where you're talking about two different time periods, before the pandemic and during the pandemic. And you can use the signal phrase like, before the coronavirus arrived and now that we are isolating, signal phrases like that to make it clear to the reader which time period you're looking at in that sentence or in that part of the paragraph. Okay, I hope that these examples help to show you the importance of signal words and phrases. Remember that you need to use these in this essay. It's part of the grade for the compare and contrast essay. But you also used signal words and phrases in the persuasive essay, in the narrative essay. These are always helpful for helping your reader to quickly understand your writing and not get confused. All right?